Hey everyone, good morning. Hi, Amy. Oh my god, it's been so long, Amy. How's it going? Hi, mom and dad. Hi, Monty, Ankita. Great to see you here. Hey, Shine. Oh, someone called Jim Reeves has joined. That's the singer that I really adore. It's great to be back on Instagram as well as on Facebook and YouTube. Ashwati, hi. Hi, Mama. Hi, Ayumi. So great to see you all. I cannot believe it. It's actually session 100. Palak. Hi. Wow, lots of new people as well. So I am really, really super excited. Thank you, Dhara. And Shabadabadoo. Yeah, Marcus. All right. This is a beautiful day. I am really, really excited. Welcome, everybody. It is session 100 of Keeping It Light. I am so happy. I've been smiling all week. And yeah, you know, let me know, first of all, where you're joining from. I'd love to welcome you if this is your 100th session. There are a few people who've actually been here for all 100 sessions. And if that is you, then thank you for being here all this time. And if this is your first day, let me know if it is and where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from. I'm so happy. Wow, the messages are going so quickly that I'm not able to actually read everything. But you know, I was just thinking about this late last night. I was up pretty late. Yes, again. And I was feeling that, in life, when you have a little seed of an idea, it's a beautiful thing, and then you plant the seed, you water the seed, and you hope it grows, and suddenly it's a tree, unless it's bamboo, of course, which takes 5 years. But it's a little bit how Keeping It Light has grown. And there's so many connections that have happened. There's so much rootedness, so many different friendships, and this intricate network of connection, And I have to say that for the last 100 sessions, not even one day has felt like a burden. It's felt super inspiring, exciting. And oftentimes, even if I was in a bad mood, just starting this research or starting to talk to others, it just would lift my mood. And I have this massive document which is hundreds of pages long, which is where I do my research and I keep my notes. And yesterday I started going through the topics, and all of you, so many of you who have been here for Keeping It Light, for all these sessions, you have inspired me incredibly. And I was remembering our lessons from ants and elephants and dolphins and octopuses and bamboo, and the visualizations we've done, the conversations on grief, on anger, on imposter syndrome, on gut instinct. We've talked about psychology. There's just so many things. The list is endless. And each one, I feel like I have learned something from that and from all of you. And actually, if there was a favorite session you had, you don't have to say it now, but in case there was a favorite session you had, let me know. I want to know. I would love to keep getting your feedback and your advice and your suggestions. I want to keep making this better. And most of all, I'm really, really grateful for the people that I've met through this. You've inspired me so much, and so many of you have made art. Like Palak started way back, Shine, Jerlin, lately Shivani, Arshia, and also poetry. And Sunny, Pranam Pepe, Ashwati, Amit, you've all made art and paintings and drawings and poetry and graphics, and my heart is so full. I really feel blessed to know all of you and to just have you in my life. So mwah, Umma's infinity. I am I'm very, very happy, and happy 100 to us. Okay, so now on to our theme for session 100. Of course, as if you've been watching for a couple of sessions, you know that I cry a lot. And a few weeks ago, I was super frustrated about something, and I was howling and I was upset and feeling disgruntled. and suddenly I saw this funny cartoon, and it just cheered me up. And I realized, I could, I always say keep it light, but I must be choosing to keep it light, and it is an option for all of us. So, what if I wasn't stressed in this moment? And of course, voila, the situation resolved itself. And so I wondered, what are the ways other people choose to keep it light, and would they choose it again? And many of you sent me powerful stories, and I chose one specific person to join me today. He's not just a very special person, he's my special person. So let me see if he's on Instagram. I'm looking for him. Let's see. I think he is. If you are, I would love to welcome you, but I'm trying to find you. I need my special guest to make another request. And let's see. Come on, request so that I can add you to the Insta feed. Where's my guest? Come on, I see you. Do it. All right. Well, I'm gonna bring him on. There we go. All right, here we go. So, my darling, Keeping It Light family, help me give the warmest welcome to the most amazing, talented, cool, kind, loving rock star Tiggs of them all, Steven Weber. Tevan, let's see you on screen. Hey!
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Tiggs.
Hi, how you doing? It's good to see you.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you're joining me today. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm excited. I'm a little sleepy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't sleep
I
as much
understand.
as I should have.
I understand.
But then, most of you know that that's normal. So everyone, let me
Yeah.
do a formal introduction.
Ooh, formal introduction. All right.
Yes.
Should I
So
wear?
Stephen,
Should I go get a tie?
I think you should get a tie. Where's your but only a bow tie.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So for everyone who's joining, Stephen is the executive director of Berkeley NYC. And he's an Emmy-winning composer, producer, multi-instrumentalist. He brought turntables into Berkeley. But most importantly, he's my dear Tiggs, part of Tiggs and Nettles. And I love him very much. So, hi Tiggs. Yay.
Hi, Nettles. How you doing?
I'm good.
It's really fun
I'm
to be
glad.
on Keeping It Light for the 100th
Yeah.
show. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's happening.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stephen, when I asked you about a time you chose to keep it light,
Right.
you talked about your relationship with your parents,
Yeah.
specifically about your dad. So
Yeah.
tell us about your dad.
Sure. Well, Dad was a pastor most of his life, as you know, of very large churches with thousands of members, and he was an in-demand speaker too, who could hold an audience spellbound. And he was an author, and who in retirement wrote books, and he was a fine musician and a very, very humorous fellow, and had just a wonderful, personality. It was just the embodiment of kindness, I think. And you got to know him too. What are your
I
memories
did.
of
I
Dad?
did. I think I told my parents when I met your dad for the first time that he personifies the word gentleman. You
Mm,
know, he
that's so
really
sweet.
was just super kind, as you said. And yeah, and we used to sing together so much. I
That's
loved
true.
that. I loved that
That's
because
true.
he's a bass and you're a
Right,
bass and
right,
I'm a bass.
right, right.
So we
All
we
three
had
pieces.
all three basses, and yeah, it was just beautiful. So tell us a little bit about about how you chose to keep it light
Yeah.
in
Well,
regards to dad.
sure. Well, as both my parents aged, they both developed dementia, which is, very typical these days. A lot of people deal with that. My mom had full-blown Alzheimer's, but um, and my father, who outlived my mom by about 6 years, developed a more occasional dementia called Charles Bonnet syndrome. I guess it's not really dementia. I mean, he developed dementia, but he also had this Charles Bonnet syndrome, which is a visual perceptive disorder
What is
where
that?
he would see things that weren't really there.
Huh.
And but he would really see them. Your brain is actually firing the neurons that it takes to see things. So occasionally he would come into the room, or he would sit down and he would look up and he said, "Oh, look at all the beautiful roses up on the ceiling," are you seeing those?
Yeah.
And yeah, which but he was diagnosed with Charles Bonnet syndrome,
Okay.
which is a real thing. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, so that was kind of interesting.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
he, fortunately for him, it was a thing where he mostly saw pleasant things. It
Oh,
can be
that's
a
good.
problem with some people because
Yeah.
sometimes they see disturbing things, but most of the
Right.
time he would see things that were not disturbing.
That's good.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, he was in I think 7% of the people who actually find pleasure in the hallucinations, which is a very short, small portion of those
Of the
people. But
population. Yeah.
yeah, fortunately, he was in there.
That's
But
good.
anyway, in general, Dad was always, easygoing and
Mm-hmm.
content.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but once his mind started to really show signs of decline,
Hmm.
I had moved from Spain to New York and was able to see him a lot more on the
Yeah.
weekends, and often accompanied by you. You
Yeah.
would come often because you were visiting me for the weekends.
Right.
And he just absolutely just delighted in seeing Annette
Hee hee.
when she was visiting.
Because we would sing.
Yes, yes, we would sing, and he would just love it.
Yeah.
Um,
We would
but,
also make a lot of fun of you.
yeah, I know you guys would gang up on me all the time. He
He
seemed to
he
he
loved.
seemed to really enjoy that.
Yeah, he really loved that. Yeah. Yeah. I
That was
know.
fun. That was
Yeah.
fun. But anyway, due to the fact that my mom had Alzheimer's,
Hmm.
my sister and I both, I think, did some research
Hmm.
as to how to handle that.
Right.
And one of the things we found
Hmm.
was an article on what not to say to someone with Alzheimer's by
Right.
Marie Markley. Um, and and this really it's interesting because it really does tie into keeping it light.
Huh.
And at the end of both their lives, it really helped these concepts.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, so we could
What?
talk about those things
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to know what you learned.
Yeah, yeah. Well, first off, don't bring up topics that may upset them. That's pretty
Right.
that's pretty
Right.
pretty obvious.
Yeah.
If you don't see eye to eye on politics, for example,
Yeah.
just don't
Just
bring it up.
right.
You know?
Right. What's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Realizing this made it a lot easier with my mom
Hmm.
because she and I were not politically close to each other.
Right.
But yeah, and not we just let things go and not argue. And fortunately, she wound up kind of forgetting all about politics as dementia, as the
Took
Alzheimer's
over.
came
Yeah.
on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So by the time she was on her deathbed, our relationship was probably less stressful than it had ever been because
Okay.
which is good.
Yeah.
Secondly, if somebody has dementia or Alzheimer's, don't tell them they're wrong about something. If they say something, just don't contradict them. Just don't. If they say something wrong, there's no good reason to do it. They're not gonna believe you anyway. And if they realize they made a mistake, they might
Yeah.
feel bad or embarrassed by it, and you
Yeah.
don't really have to point it out.
Well, something I remember about that was every time we'd go to a restaurant, you were really chill about this. Sometimes Dad would tell us, while reading the menu, he would say, "Oh, I'm gonna get a mac and cheese," and the server would arrive 5 minutes later, and he would say, I want a salad," and you never corrected him. You just let
Yeah.
him be in that new moment, and that's important. That was always a beautiful thing.
Yeah. By that time, it was just, it was progress, or it was good just that he could order something,
Right?
got some food,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
yeah, and yeah, and often it's hard for us, and it's more important to the family and people around to kind of adhere to the general rules of normalcy.
Right.
But not needing for things to be right by conventional standards. Just let us
Yeah.
focus on having a good time
Yeah.
together, making the most of our visits, and enjoying
Yeah.
his company. And he was always glad to see us when I came.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
He never forgot who we were.
Yeah.
And then times he would say things that had no basis in reality, at least not that I knew of. But he would say them as if he really knew them to be true.
Right.
And he probably felt they were true. So I figured, they're probably true for him right now, which brings us to the next suggestion from the article, which is don't ask about memories when talking to somebody with Alzheimer's. It's so tempting to ask people if they remember some person, or even just say, what did you have for lunch? Or what did you do this morning? Or do you remember that holiday we went on?
Yeah.
and it's likely they don't remember.
Right, right. Well, I think the cool thing was your dad was such an immaculate storyteller.
Mhm.
And I found that instead of asking him about memories, we would just ask him about stories, not being
Mhm.
specific, and just letting him be open ended with, whatever he wanted to talk to us about. And I remember once at dinner, he got super animated after visiting with some of my friends. And he started telling us the most wild stories,
Mhm.
and of course I didn't know they weren't true, and I you just went along with it, right? You told
Sure.
us after the fact that they were just stories. The cool thing was dad was so entertaining
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
we were just eating out the palm of his hand, and there was no reason to say, well, that's not how it happened,
That's true. That's true.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
no reason at all. And I think it was fascinating actually because I'm sure the neurons in his brain were just firing,
Mm,
and he was kind of following them around. And he was very good at storytelling, so he would just be telling stories. And
right,
they bore little resemblance to fact, but it was more about just telling the story than whether
right.
it was true or not.
Yeah,
And we just kept it light, and we just had a spectacular time.
yeah, yeah. So another way that I think you mentioned was not to remind a person that their loved one is has passed on,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
that's
it's
true.
common for people with dementia to believe that their deceased loved one is still alive, and then they're often
Sure.
confused or they feel hurt when that person doesn't come to visit.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there's no reason for that.
Mm,
And I'd say the one exception to that is just if the person just asks you right out, if someone is gone. And Dad
right,
would do that sometimes.
right,
He'd say, is Marilyn still alive? And then at that point, I think it's best just to say no, she passed, and
right.
but because sometimes I think they wonder about that. But if they start talking about them as though they're still alive,
Mm,
that's fine.
just
That's
let it be.
Yeah,
Just let
and
it be.
that really kind of comes to the last thing, which is just don't argue with the person.
Mm,
You
you can't
can't
win.
win,
Yeah, yeah.
and it will probably upset them or make them angry. And
Right.
speaking of keeping it light, somebody just rang my doorbell.
I have a story. So you go get the doorbell, and
Okay, okay, yeah. Mute me for
because
just a second, and I'll,
yeah.
I'll,
Well, I can't
I'll
mute you on Instagram, but that's
okay,
fine.
okay, all right. I'll
So
be right.
Stephen is going to go check the door because
Yeah.
life is happening. One amazing thing that Stephen always did was every time he'd call his dad, he would, when his dad picked up the phone, he would say, "Hey, Dad, it's Stephen." And I would always, I kind of wondered, well, obviously your dad knows it's you, but then now, as I'm listening to Stephen talk about dad's dementia and CBS, I remembered that sometimes, an elder in your life or someone who's going through dementia cannot recognize your voice that easily. And so I love that Stephen would always just, take that step out and, help him by saying, "Hey, Dad, it's Stephen." It's such a small thing to do, but I love that you did that. And I think, yeah, I'm glad you did that. By the way, someone is asking who was at the door.
Oh, who was at the door? It was Donald Trump seeing if I had any hydroxychloroquine.
Oh my
Um,
God.
uh, yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay. Moving on.
Moving on. Sorry. Uh, anyway,
So,
so
so yeah, we were
yeah.
talking about not arguing with someone, and I know that you have a great incident that happened.
Well, okay. So once, Dad actually passed earlier this year, and
Mm.
in January he contracted double pneumonia, and you and I were in Spain at the
Yeah.
time, and we wound up coming back early.
Right.
Um, and he'd already decided in it, that he didn't want to be resuscitated. He
Right.
knew that the end was near, and
Yeah.
and he didn't want to live on life support. And this all happened years ago when he was coherent. And so we all gathered around. We gathered the family, and my sister and I let him know that it was okay for him to go. And
Mm-hmm.
he'd lived a glorious life and been a blessing to so many people.
Right.
And occasionally he got it. He realized what was happening,
Right.
but often he was hallucinating. And one night, as we were kind of keeping vigil, and we all knew it was his deathbed,
Hmm.
he woke up, and he looked in my eyes with purpose.
Hmm.
Um, and you're always, I think, you're always hoping that your parent is going to say something profound or something, on their deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked up at me and he says, "Okay, we got to get out of here." He had been planning his escape in his mind. That's the neurons were firing, and he said, "Let's get out of here. Mercedes has a car." And
Who's Mercedes?
Mercedes was one of his caregivers who he
Ah,
just loved and adored.
right, right.
He says, "Mercedes has a car. You go buy gas." And I just kind of said, "Oh, okay." And he looked at me for a few moments and he says, "Well, go on, go buy gas, And of course, I knew he was hallucinating.
Right,
I could have gotten upset. Oh, he's sending me away from his deathbed, and
right.
and I could have tried to talk to, bring him back. Said, "No, Dad, you're dying. We're not going to go
Mm-hmm.
to Mercedes' car. I'm not going to go
Right.
get gas and all that." Um, but instead, I just, I said, "Okay, okay." And I went out in the hall.
Yeah.
So I was going to go get gas.
Right.
And actually, I did wonder while I was out there, am I doing the right thing? Should I try to bring him back? But then
Right.
I just thought, okay, let me go back let me just keep it light and
Mm-hmm.
remember, the research I did. And so
Yeah.
I just stayed out there for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I just came back in thinking, okay, let me change the subject. So I just came
Uh-huh.
back in and I said, "Hey, Dad, it's so good to see you. It's snowing out there. I remember when I was a kid and it snowed on my birthday in April one time."
Uh-huh.
And he said something like, "Yeah, sometimes it snows in April, and who knows why." And he just, it just kind of shook him out of his
Yeah.
escape pod, and
Yeah,
he
I
was back.
know.
He was just, kind of back in the moment.
I love that. I love all these stories, and I love remembering Dad. And I think the most important thing that I take away from your sharing is that you never belittled him. You always allowed him to just stay in his power wherever he wanted to be mentally. You allowed
Mhm.
him. And I love that when he said, "Go get gas for the car," you obeyed him. You just
Yeah.
obeyed him. And that's beautiful. And also, going back to something you said earlier, that your sister Sharon and you told your dad that it was okay to go. A lot of people try to hold on to their loved ones, even though they know their loved one is suffering. So thank you
Mhm.
for loving him enough to let him go. And it's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing. And I remember one thing that happened that day,
Mhm.
which was after Sharon and you had told your dad that, "Dad, you've lived a beautiful life and it's okay to go," and uh, of course we were all emotional. In fact, I'm kind of feeling emotional now.
Mhm.
And Sharon needed to get something from the car,
Mhm.
and so you went to help her. So you both left the hospital room, and I was with your niece, Linnea,
Yes,
in the room
yes.
with Dad, and we were talking and just quietly, having conversation, and Dad was kind of dozing and kind of waking up, and then suddenly he properly woke up and he looked at both of us. We were on either side of the bed. So we got up immediately to see if he needed something. And he very softly he said, "I have to go." And we both kind of got a little choked up because we he had just been told by both of you, his children, that "Dad, it's okay to go." And so we said, we know that you have to go and we love you so much. And we thought that he was really in that moment. Then he looked at us blankly and then he said, "No, I mean, I have to go to the bathroom." And we laughed so much. Of course,
Uh-huh.
then we called the nurse. It was just, yeah, it was a
Mhm.
sweet moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a lot of that, and I'm so grateful, that when he passed, my sister and I were both there holding his hands as he stopped breathing and slowly began to lose body temperature.
Hmm.
But I just remember that keeping it light, his dad slipped in and out of reality during the last years of his life, just gave us really precious time.
Hmm.
And we would fill time with reading poetry and singing songs and going on adventures together through the long corridors of Cedar Crest, this retirement community.
Hmm.
And I just feel so grateful for the time we got to spend together in his last years and for the
Yeah.
lessons he taught me. Even while his mind was going,
Hmm.
he made an effort to always keep it light through his pain and his memory loss and his
Hmm.
dementia. And his example is something I think of often as, I navigate the challenges of growing older, and keeping it light will help not only ourselves, but just the people around us as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, just moments before we got online, I was a little bit flustered, and Tiggs made a lot of jokes, and he kept it. You always keep it light, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
said it best. Yeah, keeping it light gave you precious time, right? Time
Hmm.
to bond and connect and celebrate each other and love each other, and that's the most important thing. I love you, Tiggs.
Aw, aw, I love you too.
Hee hee.
Yeah. So shall we breathe?
Let's
I
breathe
like
a
the I
little
love
bit.
the part where you ring your manjira.
Yeah. I'm so glad you know this word, Manjira.
Well,
For
I
a
should put it in a song.
maybe. All right. So let's breathe together on the 100th session of Keeping It Light. And maybe let's breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. And maybe 2 more times. And as you do that, I'm remembering Dad, and I'm sure all of you have maybe someone that you remember that you want to remind yourself to keep it light. And who are the people who bring light into your world that you could also keep light with? Yeah. So, one last time, let's just all breathe in and remember that our lives are so short, and we may as well laugh through it and cry through it, but joyfully,
Yeah.
and more than anything else, I think from Stephen's example and his lessons, so just let things go. Yeah. Hee hee, you made me tear up a little.
Aw, aw.
Yeah.
Hey, and now
Yeah.
we have a little surprise.
We do? Do we have a surprise?
We do. We have a surprise.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. I'm really tearing up.
Aw,
Hee
aw.
hee hee.
I try not to tear up on screen so my mascara won't run.
Exactly. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. So, okay. Well, tell us what the surprise is.
Okay, okay. Well, actually, for the 100th episode of Keeping
Mm-hmm.
It Light,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a song. We have a
You
new
did.
song. I wrote a song about keeping it light and about Annette, and so we were thinking that we might premiere the song right here on Keeping It Light, and later we'll put it up on YouTube and Facebook and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But we thought
Yeah.
we would play it for you guys for tuning in to the 100th episode.
Yeah. So there is one thing that we cannot do, which is the way I'm streaming this in my very high tech way, I can
Mhm.
only play it. It's only going to be audible for the people on Facebook and YouTube. It's not going to be audible for the people on Instagram. And so we had a request from someone on Instagram to sing Amazing. So we should just, try to, with lots of latency, sing
Oh, wow.
Amazing, one chorus of it. And then while
Okay.
we're doing that, I would suggest that everybody goes to Facebook and YouTube. My Facebook and YouTube page is, youtube.com/Annette Philip official, and same thing, facebook.com/Annette Philip official. If you can do that, you'll hear the song. And in the
Okay.
meantime, if you're at home, you should sing Amazing with us. Ready? Shall we
Okay.
go?
Okay. Okay. So is it playing now and on YouTube?
No, I think we're just going to sing it live because
Oh,
otherwise
we're going to sing it
Instagram
live
won't
first, and
won't
then
hear it.
and then.
We'll
Okay,
sing
we're going to.
Amazing live.
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we'll
Well,
play the new Keeping It
let's
Light
try
song.
this. Let's try
Okay,
this.
okay.
This should be
So
fun.
first time ever, we're gonna try this latency
Okay.
filled thing. Ready?
Give
You
it. Give us
count
a
it
beat.
off. You
Okay.
count it off.
1, 2. A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Amazing,
Ba 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 do.
amazing.
Ba 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 do.
We're gonna
We're
have
gonna
an
have an
amazing time.
amazing time. Wow, 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 wow.
Amazing.
Ba ba doo ba da.
Amazing.
Sa ba ba doo.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna have
have.
an amazing time.
All right. So, Instagram, we're going to say good night or good morning or
Good
whatever
morning
to
or good
you.
afternoon.
I'm going to end this feed and come join me on Facebook and you'll hear the song. All right. So, love to everybody on Instagram, Facebook. Thank you for waiting. We're going to play the song really soon.
Okay.
Ciao. Bye,
Ciao. Bye
everybody.
bye.
Love you. Thank you for joining for session 100 with Steven and me. Okay, bye bye. All right, so Instagram is ending and Facebook, YouTube. Are you ready?
I think they're
Are you
ready.
ready? Are
I
you
hope so.
ready? All right, so here we go. Here's the song. A one, two, ta da!
Our world's a turning, my head's turning too. Ain't nothing in this whole wide world left to do except staying home, hoping that we don't get the flu. It seems we all could use a friendly guru. Early in the morning, about 8:45, she's there on YouTube and on Facebook Live, talking about the challenges we're all going through, with a message that is tried and true.
Keeping it light,
She's just
keeping it light. Keeping it light will keep you feeling right, sleeping tight, seeking insight. Oh, what a lovely alternative to always being right. Keeping it light, keeping it light.
ringing her Manjira when it's time to meditate, letting go of problems as our lungs inflate. Breathe away the rub of your annoying roommate. Find the inner world you want to create.
Keeping it light, we're just keeping it light. Keeping it light will keep you feeling right, sleeping tight, seeking insight. Oh, what a lovely alternative to always being right. Keeping it light, keeping it light.
She's got the biggest eyes you've ever seen. They jump right off my retina iPhone screen. She's a little bit of Gandhi and a little Betty Boop. She's got curly black locks with a classy white swoop. She makes a lot of content with her musical group. She posts to Instagram when she goes to poop.
Keeping it light, we're just keeping it light. Keeping it light will keep you feeling right, sleeping tight, seeking insight. Oh, what a lovely alternative to always being right. Keeping it light, keeping it light. Yay!
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Right? We
light.
kept it light.
Yeah.
You know, so we
Yeah.
should tell the story that, Stephen wrote this beautiful song. And then We tried to get it animated, and our animator didn't send us the final video, so we instead made our own video for you right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Right now, for the moment.
I think it was fun.
It
I
was
had
fun, totally
fun.
unrehearsed. It was, we kept it
Yeah.
light. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
didn't.
kept it light, and you know
Yeah.
what? It is what it is.
It
And
is.
so I was going to say something else, but I don't remember, so I guess it's not that important anymore.
Who knows? Who knows? Oh.
Oh my
Well, this has been
goodness.
so much fun. Thank you so much for letting me
Yay.
share this 100th show with you. That's quite an accomplishment. 100 episodes. That's amazing.
I know, and I really, I think that it's just been such a good experience, and I have to thank you, Stephen, for one very specific thing. Besides being the
Oh.
most amazing Tigs, when I first started out, for everybody who's online, when I first started out, I was doing the 7 days a week, and then Stephen was like, "Please, for goodness sake, just don't do it on the weekend." I was like, "Really? Okay, fine." So then I did it 5 days a week for the first 50. And then when the first 50 got over, Stephen said, "Please, for my sake, please do it only 3 times a week, because it's really hard to live with you if you're always awake at like 7 a.m. and it's like no matter what, you have to be up." So, so I will say though, I'm really glad that you told me that,
I think
to
to me,
reduce
it
it.
was, in order to keep it going,
You're
you
right.
have to kind of build in some rest, build in
Yeah.
a little space.
I
Yeah.
think you're totally right, and I'm so glad that I did that, because the 3 times a week really, really helped to keep the momentum, but
Yeah.
not also ever make it
Right.
stressful. So
Right.
I'm really really happy, and I really want to do a shout out to whoever was on Instagram with us all morning, and also really dear people. I mean, I know so many of you personally. I mean, we've never met, but Sunny, Palak, Shine, Dhara, Lata, you're back after ages. I'm seeing Ashwati, of course, Nalini, Vanessa is back, Armin, so many people. Prabhat, Pranam Pepe, Rita is back, who hasn't been here for a long time. It's just incredible to see all of you. Ajit, as always, and Ajit, you always take time to also go on my YouTube page, and it's so so kind of you. And to everyone, Arshia, Shivani, it's just how can I thank you, other than just telling you that my heart is so full, and I'm just ever grateful, and for more than anything else, just for the new friendships. So yeah, Shine just said that we should do a big group hug. I think that's
Oh.
amazing, because in my line of work, with anything that I do, I always do a huddle, which is that
Mhm.
you gather around, you all hug each other in a big circle, and then someone says 1, 2, 3, and you go ah, and you make as much noise as you want, and then you either give energy or you receive energy. You can bathe in it, and you can eat it, whatever you want. So we should maybe do that. Let's do a
Okay.
huddle all over the world, wherever you are. I would love for you to do this. So Tiggs, you got to do this with us,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Yeah,
So
I've done this.
you got to put your hands out on both sides, and imagine that you are hugging the person next to you, okay, wherever they are. So you can be hugging me in Boston, and I'm, let's say, hugging people in India, and the people in India might be hugging someone in Australia, and who knows, whatever. Okay, so let's do this, everybody at home, right here, right now. Let's do this huddle. We're all hugging each other in a massive, keeping it light circle, and I'm going to count to 3, and we're going to make lots of noise. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody, I'm sending you energy. I want to receive it, and I want to give it. And yeah, I'm so happy. That was cool. I actually really felt that energy right now. I did. Did you feel it? I
Oh,
really
yeah.
felt that energy. Yeah, people are going ah as well. Sandeep, thank you. You know what? life is meant to be enjoyed. Like our lives are meant to be here, full of fun, and the tears are fine, and just enjoy the tears also. And I'm just so grateful. Tiggs,
Nettles,
hee hee.
congratulations. I'm
Thank you,
so
Mama.
proud of you. So proud of you.
Called you Mama also.
And helping you. I know you call me mama all the time, which I like. I like that. I like that. And you've helped so many people through these broadcasts, and so it's so amazing the community that you've built. You're so good at building community and just helping people and being so emotionally present and emotionally honest. So thank you on behalf of all of the people who watch and enjoy Keeping It Light, including me. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yay! Thank you, Mama. So happy.
Mm.
And one other funny thing?
What's that?
You talked about Gandhi in the song.
Yeah, it's his birthday, right?
It's his birthday today.
I know. Happy birthday, Gandhi.
What
That's
are the
so awesome.
odds? What are
I
the
know.
odds? That's cool.
That's cool.
Oh, so sweet. Dwijashish. He said, "We are the world, we are the children." That's true. It's so good for us to stay kiddie, like childlike.
Yes.
It's a good thing.
Yes,
okay, so on that note, shall we say good night? And
we should.
And
we
good
should.
morning to
Night
everybody.
and good morning. Yes.
Yeah. Have the most beautiful weekend, my darlings. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this time. Thank you for being yourselves. Thank you for singing with us. Thank you for huddling with us for the first time. And just please always be kind to yourselves. And on that note, I am going to take maybe a week or two off from Keeping It Light. I'm gonna give myself a full break, and I'm just gonna. I will be back. I'm already thinking of what is the episode 150. I have a theme already, so I'll let you know about that.
That's great.
This thing is very important to me, and it's mostly I do it for myself. And I do it for, just because I get to connect with all of you. And that is an amazing thing. So thank you for letting me I'm going to take a holiday. And thank you for also taking holidays yourself. Arshia, this one goes out to you. You told me today to take a vacation. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be an obedient girl. And I'm going to do that. She's already saying yay.
Yay, that's good.
All right. Love you all. Love you, Tiggs.
Love you too. Take care.
Hey, folks, we're going to be uploading a rather funny version of the song that we played, which Stephen wrote. Stephen wrote that entire song, and I'm so grateful for him. I keep talking. I'm just too excited today. I feel like I'm with my family, and it's like one of those calls that lasts for 6 hours. So yeah. So thank you, Sandeep, for waiting for the 150th session. And please, we're going to upload it to YouTube. We would love for you to watch it and to share it with people. And and as Shine just said, thank you, Stephen, for your insight, music, and much more.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. So it's been wonderful to be here with you on this. It's been great.
Yeah. And let's send love to Dad.
Yeah.
Because he inspired this
That's
whole session. He inspired this whole session.
That's true.
And he really knew how to keep it light.
Absolutely. He sure did.
He was like
a good example.
A PhD in keeping it light.
He was. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Bye, Dad. Mwah. Love you.
Dad. All right.
Love you, Tiggs. Love you all. Okay. Ciao. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
I'm gonna fade out my music for once.
Ooh, nice. And then the doorbell
Look
again.
at that. That's amazing. Okay, bye.
All right. Bye bye.